Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the employee training and development topic. I think this would be our seventh and eighth module so far in the history under the human resource management. Let's proceed directly to the core content, employee training and development. Let us discuss about number one, we have the role of the training. Second would be training design and process. Third is the kinds of training. And fourth would be the challenges facing with the human resource department today, or the entire organizations to be specific. Now, it is basically the questions of employee training, why it is important to every employee in the organization. The mixtures of highly qualified managers and low-level staff primarily is not good for the company without having these core skills to maintain their positions in the company. Again, so why employee training? And then why it is important in the organizations. Normally, a dedicated training and development provide and promote employee engagement, which fosters employee contributions and the organization's success. Business functions must show how they contribute to business success. Training activities should also help the company achieve its business strategy. So maliwanag yan because I think that will be the exact directions of the entire organization. Pangalawa, training can help employees develop skills needed to perform their jobs, which directly affects the entire business operations. Number three would be, I think, training involves programs which enables workers to improve their skills and, of course, their knowledge. The training and development encompasses, of course, behavior, activities, and techniques which are used to develop employee skills, diba, and ability. So remember, the growth is based on the skills and the abilities of its employees. By creating, number one, positive employee retention. Number two, training future leaders. Number three, there's also employee empowerment. And number four, increased workplace engagement. Why training and development is very significant to every employee. A training and development is highly significant because it allows employees to work on specific skills that normally aid them in improving their job performance. And then a development program also ensures that all employees are brought up to the same standard so they all possess similar competencies. This will also allow the company to replace, normally it's not the term replacing, it's to train any individuals who are incapable of completing basic work tasks. If the business is lacking, for example, specific abilities, the training program creates an opportunity to provide employees with skills they need. Similarly, a development program helps to expand all employees' knowledge base. So it's very clear. The role of the human resource is by means of giving training properly to all employees. So there's no such thing as replacing. Otherwise, it would question yung credibility and integrity ng human resource department, diba? So, but anyway, ang human resource department naman, meron naman silang karapatan to at least implement that kind of ruling if they wish to. Kasi anybody who is incapable to disseminate responsibilities, if they found out na you have the problems with, of course, skills and abilities, if you cannot cope up to submit, diba, an output na expected ng human resource department or any organizations, but there is a right for them for you to replace. But of course, it would give you the idea to say that it is better for them to at least retrain employees in the organization. So let's clear about that. So training and development is very significant to every employee because give you proper addressing employees' weaknesses. It also improve performance of the employees. It also boosts company's profile and reputations, and also the ability to adopt innovation in that matter. Now, how HR involves itself in employee training and development. You know what? There are several ways that human resource department or any human resource expert in the organization will, of course, participate in all types of training and development program. They help to develop programs and strategies which help inspire and engage employees to be more productive. That's the main point. These employees must work together to incorporate and empower all resources necessary to support all of the organization's strategy. Now, um, preparing a training design is another level of course applications. A training design is developing a new training and educational courses and lessons for your existing employees in the organization. This is the productions of a new training and training courses, and of course, the lessons for the current employees. This sorts out all types of training gaps and fills them with improved results with new materials. And then it also helps the team to improve their abilities instead of being stagnant in their positions. Effective training program also assess the training needs. This will identify and assess the needs in the first step in creating training program to be specific. The training needs of employees might already be identified in the beginning and the strategic planning, human resource, or individual development plans of the company. So you may need to perform assessments of training needs, or if you are designing the training programs for scratch or from scratch without predetermined objectives. So you will be able to at least assess the entire employees about that. And second would be um, to have a set organizational training objectives, one of the most important thing. So any deficiencies in the current training programs and employee skill sets will be found by the training needs evaluations, such as the organizations, the role, and individuals. So if you found out that there are numbers of discrepancies, these discrepancies should be analyzed and prioritized and also converted into the training targets of the company. Now, the ultimate objective is to bridge the gap through the implementations of the training programs between current and desired result. Number three, create training action plan. The next step is to create a comprehensive action plan that includes learning theories. It is also include your interest in instructional design. There's also content. There's also materials and in any other training elements needed in the organizations. Resources and training delivery methods should also be in detail. While developing the program, the level of training and participants' learning styles need also be considered. Many companies pilot their initiatives and gather feedback to make adjustments before launching the program as a company-wide. Number four, implement training initiatives. Where the training program comes to life in the implementation process, organization need to determine if in-house is well executed. The executions of this curriculum requires the coordination of training, exercises, and also the arrangement of any associated tools such as the facilities, there's also equipment, all forms. The training program and then initiated, marketed, and performed officially. And then, of course, the progress among participants should be monitored during training to ensure that the program is highly successful. Normally yun, because of course, it would give us a feedback right after if the training is highly effective or not. Then, of course, that's a time that the management would give options for the best resolution so far in history. Number five, evaluate and revise the training. The training program should be constantly monitored, right? At the beginning, as stated in the last segment, ultimately the whole curriculum should be reviewed in order to assess if it has been successful and if the training goals has been met. Now, to assess program, the trainer efficiency and also those informations or skills development Input should be collected from all types of stakeholders. And then, analyzing this feedback would allow the company to recognize any program weaknesses. At this point, if targets or objectives are not reached, then the training program or action plan can be updated. Okay, so that's very clear. So those are the effective training programs that we have. We have 5 different steps. Next would be types of employee training. We have one, the skills development training. Now, there are a variety of different kinds of training that we can use to get employee involved. Diba? So in all steps, in all training phase, these forms are usually used such as orientation, in-house, meron tayong mentorship, or even like external training. The training use dependent on the quantity of such learning services available in the organization, the type of the business, and the importance that the company places on training. Number one, we have the skills development training. So ano tong skills development training? Normally, ang skills training kasi is described as a term that helps to build the employee's scope and the possibilities by developing his talent and improving his abilities and know-how in the organizations. So if you are working with the marketing department, normally you need to have this skills development training na kailangan, diba? Especially if you're dealing with numbers of people outside of the organizations or creating contracts with your client or customer. Number two, we have soft skills training. Ang soft skills training naman, one of the most fundamental training in the organization, especially in the business. So if you are one of those representatives who are dealing with public relations, who used to talk with people, with clients, di ba, mas mahalaga yun. So providing training for soft skills allow your staff to think out of the box, both creatively and critically. So they will be able to weigh the options. They can also make informed decisions and make them likely to achieve the desired results by using this type of skills. So, yung sales training naman is the process of enhancing the abilities, skills, and strength of the sellers to drive normally yung behavioral improvement in the sellers and also improve yung success of the sales. If you're hitting one particular target in terms of sales department, so definitely you need to work on this sales training program. This also give you to drive sales outcomes, of course, I've mentioned before, and endorse these transitions as a change management initiative. You need to concentrate on improving the habits of your sellers. It's one thing. Number four, we have the managerial training. Those are under the management executive positions. Supervisors can also attend this. Training in management is a training activity based normally in terms of developing the abilities of a person, normally as a leader, or even like as a supervisors, and even as a manager in the organization. Yung soft skills such as communications and empathy can be strengthened. So it can be improved as well and incorporated in the managerial training, allowing for stronger teamwork and more progressive relationship with individuals they oversee. So with this type of training is highly important because you are actually managing people in the organizations. So this is one of the most challenging training programs so far in the organizations. Number five would be yung safety training. Safety training naman, employers, administrators, supervisors, and staff are provided with the preparations and training. The information, remember, and the skills required to do their job, safety, and avoid causing risks that might place themselves or others at risk. So mahalaga ang training, ang safety training program in the organizations. Ito naman, at least all across the board, whether you are a below the line employees or whether on the middle type of management or higher, everyone is actually capable to attend, diba? And to finish this type of training program. This is for all employees, for at least for them to protect themselves in any forms of risk. So that's it. Now, of course, yung challenges ng training and development in the organization, especially with our human resource department, plays vital role today, especially if the objective is intended for rebuilding and reshaping the entire organizations. Diba? So, for many of these organizations kasi, increasing the efficacy of training programs is the top priority when it comes to apportioning training resources. This is hardly surprising since training is optimized to save time and, of course, money, and thus keeping all its learning commitments for both executives and learners. Normally, lahat ng informations and skills are vital to any organization nowadays. Based on their physical structure and intellectual capital, companies are being judged. That's normal kasi of course people would see the entire employee in the organization, especially human capital is so much effective today to at least make our own prejudgment, di ba? How we deal with people in the organization, how we talk people outside the organization, how the employee, of course, contact numbers of potential customers outside the organization. So it may depend. That's how it really gives you the input about why training is highly effective today, and it's very important rather in the beginning. Also, the company pays more to pay untrained workers than it would so much give them a chance to pay those are deserving, diba? Individual. So other benefits of employees training and growth include increases in employee efficiency, improving the credibility of the company, and of course by means of fixing poor organizational relationship. So that's how training is highly important. Okay, so I hope that you have learned something about this topic this afternoon. So we will proceed directly next meeting to the next module. Thank you for listening and have a blessed day to everyone.